The beautiful country of Mexico. Population 112,468,855. Capital Mexico City. Bordering countries Belize, Guatemala, and the United States. Climate. Northwestern Mexico and northern areas are drier than the rest of the country. It is hot in the summer, and north winds make northern Mexico chilly in winter, with temperatures sometimes approaching freezing. The climate is also dry and temperate, and the mountain peaks are often capped with snow. The tropic cuts across Mexico near Mazatlan and Ciudad Victoria, and south of the tropic is hot and humid all year round along the coastal plains of either side of the country. The hot, wet season runs from May to October, with the hottest and wettest months falling between June and September for most of the country. Coastal areas are wetter and hotter than elevated ones, though the hottest summer extremes are generally found in the coastal plain temperatures, often reach higher than 100 degrees Fahrenheit. In the east, rainfall is high on eastern slopes of the Sierra Madre Oriental. Mexico's highest rainfall totals are in northeastern Chiapas and along the Gulf coastal plains of Tabasco with over 98 inches per year. History. The earliest inhabitants of Mexico were Stone Age hunter-gatherers who settled into land around 10,000 BC. After this, there were quite a number of cultures that occupied different regions. Early civilizations, which included the Tepoztlan, the Mayans, the Olmecs, the Aztecs, the Mixtecs, and other minor groups. The Tepoztlan settled into the Valley of Mexico at around 200 AD. Tepoztlan is also the name of an ancient city where great temples and monuments were built, such as the Pyramids of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon, and the Avenue of Death. Meanwhile, the Olmecs settled into the land 1150 to 300 BC. It was the Olmecs who delivered and developed a calendar that influenced other cultures such as the Mayans and the Aztecs. They were also credited for setting up the basic principles of architecture and the layout of the city. The Aztecs were also called the Mexicas, from which we get the word Mexico. They occupied the Valley of Mexico sometime in the 13th century. Their capital, the city of Tepoztlan, is now today's Mexico City. Also, at around 250 AD, the Mayans began building the stepped pyramids, which we see in the Yucatan Peninsula. It was during these civilizations that art and cultural creations developed and flourished. These are what people widely visit and admire until today. Mexico's independence. Spain continued to increase the taxes and contributions required from the colony. This and Napoleon's occupation of Spain sparked the movement towards independence. A priest by the name of Miguel Hidalgo issued the Grito de Dolores, or a call of independence, which started the revolution. Hidalgo, who was called the father of the Mexican independence, was executed, and this movement was succeeded by José María Morelos. Spain eventually agreed to the Mexican independence in 1821. Traditions. Since Aztec times, religious festivities have been a major part of Mexican life. Catholicism found a gorgeous land here and an interesting and sometimes impossible to understand national identity. Religion contributes a big part to Mexican society no matter where you live. Some traditions that are still popular and are celebrated are El Día de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, that is celebrated for those who have died. They are celebrated because death in Mexican tradition isn't a sad thing. It is a blessing because you are closer to God. To celebrate the Day of the Dead, many make altars to celebrate their loved ones with things that that person enjoyed, whether it be their favorite food, movie, drink, or game. Another religious tradition would be El Día de la Virgen de Guadalupe, which is December 12th. This day was the day that La Virgen de Guadalupe chose a humble Indian man by the name of Juan Diego to go and spread the good news that she existed, and no one believed Juan Diego until he did so by showing her image with simple rose petals. Another Mexican tradition would be a charia, originally developed on haciendas of Mexico where workers would try to outdo one another with their horse riding and roping skills, effectively turning these tasks into an art form. Workers from different haciendas would compete against one another at competitions. With the dissolution of haciendas following the Mexican Revolution, charias transitioned into a sport with formal competitions called chariadas. Mariachi music and chariadas are intertwined. The two traditions developed concurrently in the west of Mexico. The traditional music at chariadas is performed by mariachis who dress like charros, and charros are horse riders, but in bright colors. A mariachi is a recognized symbol of Mexico. Where to go? Some popular tourist places in Mexico would be La Basílica de la Virgen de Guadalupe, and it's the church that was built exactly where it is said to be that the image of La Virgen de Guadalupe first appeared. Many people attend this church daily from all over the world. A very and other well-known church by many is known as la Iglesia de la Virgen de San Juan de los Lagos in Jalisco, a very well-known virgin to many, even non-Hispanic people. This church will never be empty. It is a constant attraction that many honor. This church has a room called El Cuarto de los Milagros, also known as the Miracle Room, and many go and leave a note of a miracle that they believe that the Virgin de San Juan helped them with. Many people also do what is called a manda, which is a promise with God and the Virgin of your choice, and many pick La Virgen de San Juan. Another place to go in Mexico is León, Guanajuato. There is a place called Las Momias de León. This museum is filled with hundreds of mummies from all over Mexico and South America. This museum is found in León, Guanajuato, which is a very well-known area for tourists from all over as well. One of my favorite tourist attractions was in Mexico City, and it was called La Casita Azul, and that is actually where the famous painter Frida Kahlo lived. Her home, as well as her art, are in an exhibit, and I strongly recommend going. I was in line to go into the museum, and I met a woman from France that was there, and it amazed me the interest everyone had in Frida Kahlo's work. Mexico is a beautiful place filled with culture and diversity, and most importantly, faith. Mexico is a country that is so culturally diverse that you can't possibly see how beautiful this country really is because there's too much. But if you ever get the smallest chance, it is a place I'm sure you can't regret.